more post-poop thoughts, ideas fresh off the dome. Okay, follow me with this. So we're going to take this back. I don't want to say to the beginning. Actually, we will be taking it to the beginning. We're going to start off here though. Okay, I do not know who okay, well, I guess that's her name. I've had this saved on my phone for years at this point because this chart is actually one of my favorite like openers, like whatever icebreaker questions. So if you are familiar with Inside Out, then you know all of these characters. So what this chart basically breaks down is what the intersections of these characters are. And what my question is after like I ask people, hey, do you know the premise of Inside Out? If they do, then I say fantastic. If you don't know the premise of Inside Out, here's like a quick overview. Basically, Inside Out is a Pixar movie, and we're going to start with just the first Inside Out. The first Inside Out is a Pixar movie about the person's 5 core emotions, and you follow Riley, the main character, and her navigating the experiences of her 5 core emotions and things that happen in her life. So everybody's 5 core emotions are joy, sadness, disgust, fear, and anger. And at the very end of the movie, you see joy and sadness come together to make a melancholic core memory. That is a pivotal point in this movie that actually brings a lot of healing to Riley. So what my question is that feel free to sound off in the comments, but which 2 emotions are in charge of your headquarters? Because all of these people work in Riley's headquarters and they're able to create core emotions, and there's some that take more charge than others. But it could be 1, it could also be 2. Rule your headquarters. So think about it, pause the video because I don't want what I'm going to say to sway anybody. Okay, so now that you have yours already tippy typed or thought out, I would like to share what my answer is that has consistently been for what is in charge of my headquarters. And honestly, it's disgust. I love her. I navigate the range of disgust very easily. And then for those of you who might need a little extra help, like no heat, no judgment, but just so we're clear, prejudice, it does not automatically mean racial or systemic issues. I take this intersection as I am so disgusted that there is nothing that can be done. Nothing can be done. I get like such a deep, dare I say, spiritual ick at things that I'm like, listen, you could say whatever it is that you want to say, but at this point, nothing is changing my mind. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because, why I'm bringing this up is coming in later, but I find it very, very interesting. There's a couple of things that I find very interesting. One is that whenever I ask this question, it is such a green flag to me personally. Not to say that there's anything wrong with like having joy, like saying, oh yeah, like joy is my like go-to, it's my go-to emotion. But the vast majority of people say that joy is their go-to emotion. And I'm like, is it really now? Or is that just the emotion that you think is that you are most comfortable claiming as the one that you feel most at home? And is that just the emotion that is most societally accepted? Like there's a couple of people that I've met that are like, yeah, I think that my like go-to emotions are joy and insert whatever here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's a little bit more nuanced like that. Like there's a lot of people that, dare I say, every Leo rising, their intersection is righteousness, joy, and anger. I am shamelessly just like all down the disgust spectrum, though I do tend to sit at intrigue, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I love that feeling. It is my peak of joy. I do have a lot of friends that sit either at the anxiety intersection or at the melancholy intersection, which is very interesting. And I don't have a lot of people that I've asked this to that feel comfortable talking about navigating the fear spectrum. But I do think that that's a lot of people, and dare I say, a lot of people involved in high control religions. Like Abrahamic religions probably sit very comfortable here, but don't feel comfortable talking about that, and will say instead, like, no, it's just the joy of the Lord, actually. I'm not scared of anything. But like, so feel free to like, you could take a screenshot of this. It's technically not my idea, even though I do say, I like bring this up all the time. I find this fascinating. But I think the thing that I had my post-poop thought about was about people's reactions to me saying that who runs my headquarters in community with the others, but who runs my headquarters is Madame Disgust. People feel a way about that. People feel scared about that. People are like, oh my gosh, maybe I never actually knew Shayna. Maybe this is, and I'm like, first of all, everybody experiences disgust. And I think that everybody experiences disgust on a much more regular basis than folks would like to admit. And disgust is not a bad thing. Like any of these emotions, which we see if you watch Inside Out, any of these emotions taken to excess, like the too much of anything is a bad thing. But I think that people get really, really scared when it comes to talking about disgust and to a degree anger, especially if those are more prominent figures leading your headquarters. But I want to posit this because a lot of people, when they think about disgust, they think about disgust in like a judgmental connotation and like, oh my gosh, you must like hate everything and everybody and da 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 da, and it must be just like you must be the worst person. And I'm like, I think that we need to create some nuance to this, because I think that the initial reaction that I get from most people when it comes to disgust says a lot about, I don't want to just say society because that's too general. I think that it says a lot about our fears of engaging with the unknown. So I did a Google search. I can't remember exactly what the Google search was. Oh wait, it's down here. Positive emotions linked to disgust. Huzzah! And this was one of the results that came up: curiosity and discovery. Disgust originally evolved to present. Oops, sorry, got a burp. There we go. Disgust originally evolved to prevent us from interacting with dangerous or toxic elements. However, this evolutionary trait is sometimes overridden by intense curiosity, which is a key driver to learning and discovery. Many medical professionals, biologists, and true crime enthusiasts channel the natural repulsion of gross or taboo subjects into a positive pursuit of knowledge and problem solving. The love of curiosity and the need for curiosity is curiosity in general is a very big and important thing for me. Dare I say curiosity about life, about why things move the way that they move, people, systems, structures, communities. Like that is such a green flag for me when I meet somebody and they are a curious person. And curiosity in my mind is automatically linked to disgust. Like you can't be curious without disgust. Like disgust, if we're using this as an example, when it comes to like toxic plant, like elements or dangerous things, that is a lean away. That's like, ooh, I'm looking at that, I'm making a judgment call, I'm leaning away from that. But if I look at it, make a judgment call, and instead lean in to be like, but what is that? That is still under the umbrella of disgust. You're just not leaning out because of your, what is that? It's a lean in because what is that? I have a whole video on here. I'm going to see if I could find it and tag it right up there, talking about how that lean in of, wait, but I have questions. But what is that? But what does that mean? Was the original sin of Eve. Now, whether or not you believe that Eve existed or that the Garden of Eden is a metaphor, that does not matter. What actually matters, in my mind anyway, is how history has taken the story of Eve and demonized her curiosity, demonized her positive interactions with disgust and curiosity, and said this is the fall of all humankind. Woman's natural curiosity and engagement with things unknown that spark her curiosity, that is actually what has led to the fall of humankind for eternity. So if women were less curious, if women didn't explore that disgust, more, then the world wouldn't have fallen to shit. And this is why, leading back to the chart, I'll just pull it back up again. And that's why when it comes to the intersection of joy and disgust, like that's why this resonates with me so much. Because I think that intrigue and curiosity, while not synonymous, are definitely like very, very close siblings. It's an I don't know what this is. This could go upside down. I'm curious though. I'm leaning it, like intrigue to me is a lean in that other people might lean out for. Like this could be a terrible decision, but I'm gonna see this through. What's gonna happen? And meanwhile, like for example, surprise, I think the difference between surprise and intrigue is that for surprise, it's like, God, I hope this isn't the worst decision of my life. And then there's that joy of like, wow, oh, thank God. This wasn't the worst. I didn't die. And for those of you who might need like an example of what ecstasy is, I just like thinking about this sometimes. It automatically makes me smile. Just like picturing children that didn't know that they were going to Disneyland, or that didn't know that they were getting their like favorite ice cream. Or like a neurodivergent child that has a hyperfixation and then they are overwhelmed at their parents or their loved ones putting together an entire party based on their hyperfixation. Like their emotions, whether that's immediate crying, like screams, like guttural, like, that's ecstasy. And dare I say, let me know how you feel about this in the comments, but as I'm thinking about it, I think that disgust is also very linked to intuition. I think that a lot of people's intuitive feelings aren't going to necessarily be an immediate sadness. Sometimes it can be joyful. I think that where people can get very confused when it comes to intuition versus anxiety is that sometimes people go, oh, well, maybe I'm just scared, or maybe it's just my anxiety. And I don't know if like anger really comes up. For me, anyway, it doesn't when it comes to my intuitive feelings. But it is for me when I'm like doing a thing that is either like an intuitive yes or an intuitive no. There is a like, like I don't know how. It feels like something also under the umbrella of disgust. Like it feels like a internal pushback. It feels just uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable in a way that does not activate a fear response for me. And I don't know if other people experience intuition in a complementary way. If you know, if you do, sound off in the comments. But in thinking about this, I think because so many people feel like they should be, oh my gosh, no, I'm just like, I'm not disgusted. I'm not going to I don't experience things that are socially unacceptable like that, like disgust. Like I can be sad, like it's cute for a girl to be sad. Oh, I can be happy, it's cute for a girl to be happy. I can be scared. Ooh, man, come and protect me. But when it comes to women and femme people, I think that there's a lot of taboo around disgust and around anger, and especially unfortunately for Black women, because there's been so much stereotype, so much racially enforced stereotypes around Black women's anger that we try to suppress our anger. And I will say anger is a harder emotion for me to tap into. It takes a lot for me to get angry. I tend to just I'm a very heavy Aquarius rising. I'm gonna just detach. I'm done. Don't worry about me. But yeah, this is a harder one for me to tap into. But I think that when it comes to like intuition, I think that like that feeling of deep discomfort and that feeling of like an intuitive lean in, which I think is intrigue, and lean in that you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be leaning in. Like, what is, this isn't something that I usually lean into, but I feel like I need to. That's also under intrigue. And I think that us being not criminal, but like the societal push away, the societal judgment of women and femme people being allowed to explore this, I think also affects how how we are able to tap into our intuition or silence our intuition, even outside of the traumas that we experience, which can create a fear response, an anxiety response, boom, right there, that makes this relationship very muddy and can be very confusing. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments.